Welcome to Poul's Kitchen. This is Chef Paul. I'm cooking by myself today, and I kind of feel like a Billy Idol song. Dancing with myself. Other than that, it's actually, technically, it's going to be cooking with myself. Today we're going to be making seafood chowder. It's one of Amy and my favorite dishes. It's really, really good. It's really tasty. But of course, this is going to be done in multiple steps. Why? Because, well, you kind of have to do things the right way and have it the right taste. Fish is different. I'm going to be starting with cooking up some wild Atlantic haddock loins. And what I'm going to do with that is, and of course I can't really film doing it with, one person, but I'm going to use some garlic butter. It's got some herbs, some really good stuff in it. I'm going to put it in there. When that starts melting, I'm going to start cooking up these, and then I'm going to cut them up, and that's going to be ready. When that's done, I'm going to take another frying pan, because you don't want to do it in the same pan, but you want to cook up your bacon. You're going to cut that up so it's nicely thin, and then you're going to cut that up, and then you're going to fry it another thin. And when you're done that, you're going to put that off the side. When that's done, I'm going to come back and we'll start from there. And we're back. So here's our haddock. It's nice and flaked up, and you can just use your spatula and get at this while it's cooking. Works easily. And here's our bacon, really nice and tenderized, all cooked. I don't need that anymore. One thing I'm going to let you know with seafood, and this is very, very true here. And give me a second. I need to put a little bit of olive oil into my big pot. Not a whole lot, still a little bit. And one thing you need to realize when you're dealing with fish, every fish is going to be different. You can't cook it the same way you cook steak. Look it up on Google if you're not too sure. But when you're making seafood chowder, it's whatever seafood you want. It's not too particular. I'm going to use some shrimp. I'm going to use some haddock. I've got some scallops. And I think that's pretty much all I had. But let's look in the refrigerator. Which is a little bit of a mess right now because we just have way too much food. And a lot of the stuff I bought for Amy, and she just can't go through it fast enough. So, no, we're good. Sometimes I buy things I plan to use for meals. Not like it's necessary or really important that it has to be there, but, we still do it, and I forget. I'm bad at that. So, okay, we got everything. So, once that's done, we're going to heat our pot up here, and we're going to start going at it with some onions. Yeah, just chop up one big onion. Onions are a really good thing to have because it will really, really give it a good taste and texture to it. Stir that around the bottom a little bit. Everybody's going to have a little bit of a different opinion of what they feel they're gonna do. I'm going to have corn. Oh yes, sorry, I've got crab meat too. Crab meat. Carrots, potatoes, which have been sitting for a few minutes because, all the work, right? Still good though. And then we've got some peppers. I got a thing of flour and some water, and I'm going to use buttermilk today. Why? Because I feel like it. And I'm not going to season this a whole lot. I'm actually only going to use salt and pepper. Why? Because I really don't feel like having anything else really take away from what I'm doing. So, a little bit of white pepper. I'm just going to stir that up here. Alright, so they're starting to boil here. You just want this to kind of go transparent a little bit. You don't have to go too long. It's not that important. So, now I'm going to dump in a little bit of water. Why? Because it's always good to do. Because we don't want to flash fry everything. It's going to go very mellow into the soup there. The very important thing here is we need to make sure that the most prevailing taste on this is going to be the seafood. So we're going to dump the potatoes in. We're going to dump the carrots in. We're going to save everything else to the end, but I'm going to put this down for a second because I'm going to put the garlic in. Yeah, most times I use actual garlic. Why? Yeah, it's a lot of work, but I think really enjoy the flavor of it. But, you know what, this was on sale, and I've got a lot of work to do anyway, so you know, why not? So again, I'm going to start, well, I got to put this down because I'm going to put some salt in here, and this is a salt grinder, so I kind of guess it has two hands. I'm hoping you can see a little bit. I guess I won't know until I go into production, but I'm going to put a little salt. And again, we're going to put a little bit of pepper. I'm using white pepper, but you know what, guys? No one should get upset with you for using black. Regular pepper's fine. You don't have to. I just choose to use white. So you're just going to give this a good stir for a little bit, and you're going to let this go until the carrots and the potatoes start getting soft a little bit. It shouldn't take too terribly long, but just make sure everything's mixed around with the garlic and everything else, and we will be back when I'm ready to start throwing some more stuff in. And we're back. So I actually ended up putting another cup of water in here. Still, you know, it kind of looks like it's evaporated down quite a bit, and that's perfectly fine. So next step is, and I'm going to put the camera down to do this, but we're going to take the flour, and then we're going to dump it in, just like that. And then you're going to give it a good stir in here, and that's going to help give it a little bit more sturdiness, you know what I mean? So give me a second, I'm going to put this down there, because you want to have it be a little bit more, just want to have a little bit of thickness to it, you know what I mean? It's not a soup, it's a chowder. So a little bit of flour will help that. Maybe it's a little bit too much, but you know what I mean? It's not going to kill it. When this is done, it's going to taste so amazing. From this stage of the game, it's not going to, you're almost, like, it's not going to take too much longer. It really isn't. So from here, I've got buttermilk. I've got 2 liters of buttermilk. And if you know me, I really like my chowder. Haven't had a chance to do this in a while. But I like my chowder to be thick. Going to dump all the chowder in, or all the buttermilk in. Now you can use hard milk. That works great. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Hard milk's actually, what is it, whipping cream. In the States, you guys have a different name for it. I forget what you guys call it. It's funny how within the United States and Canada we have the same products for the most part. Not all the time. I'm also going to use a little bit of blend cream. Actually, no, that's not what I wanted. Actually, it is. We have the same stuff. We really do. The only difference is sometimes in the States they'll call it something different than we do in Canada. It's the same thing. You just have to go to Google's and just type, what is this? And it'll tell you. And you'll be surprised at some of the things that you'll find that you're going to find that things are actually called. So at this point, you really want to turn it down to medium if you had it on any higher. Now you want to pay attention to your cooking, because now you got your milk in. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give this a good stir, and I'm going to start mixing in the rest of the stuff. The seafood. Actually, I'm going to turn it up a little bit, so scratch what I said. Give me a few moments, I'll be right back. So I've got my, I really should get a tripod. I got my crab meat in here. So you're just going to stir things really good as you put them in. Otherwise you're going to have a really big mess to clean up, and you don't want that. I've got some corn. I think I've got some peaches and cream. I like my peaches and cream corn. They're really good. You don't want that in there at the beginning, because that will overcook really quick. I got some sweet peppers. Make sure you clean it, because you have to physically take the tails off. You know, make sure, and if you want to buy some of the stuff that are already pre-cooked, that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. It'll taste all the same. It'll taste really good. And here's my fish. Sea Food Chowder, you know, so there's, you know, make sure you have lots of seafood, because that's, you know, what's going to give it its flavor. And here's one of my favorite things to do, and I absolutely love this. I'll tell you a funny story when Amy's actually around. She's working right now, so unfortunately she can't be here to help. Otherwise she would be. But scallops are our favorite. If you're cooking them in like a soup, like the whole mini base scallops are great for it. You don't need to go out and spend a lot of money on you know, the bigger ones. It's kind of useless, because it's, you know, they're base scallops. They're big, and you need to kind of, you couldn't have them a little smaller. So I'm gonna put some pepper on there. It's the last time you're going to, and I'm gonna put some salt. So some people like a lot of salt, some people don't. You know, to each your own. There's no right or wrong. Everybody has a right to their opinion on this. So we're gonna mix this really good here, and there's only one thing left, and that is our bacon. When you're cooking your bacon up, it doesn't need to be so crisp that it's hard. It should be pretty light. And by the way, don't be afraid to taste your cooking the whole way through. You know, taste your soup. See where it's at. If it needs a little bit more salt, put some more salt in. Put more pepper in. If you have other spices you like to use, by all means, use them. In this, I'd rather use things like let my ingredients do the talking, instead of letting everything else. So I don't have a cover for this, unfortunately. So if you have a cover, use the cover. Don't do what I'm about to do. I don't know what happened to it. I really don't. I like to say Amy did something, but that would be, you know, a lie. So we're going to let that set for about 5 minutes. Going to leave it alone. Going to leave it cook, and it's going to be done. So, you know, guys, no shame in this. Kitchen timer. 5 minutes. So when this is done, I'm going to have it plated up, and I'm going to serve it to Amy, and I will see you then. So we're almost done. We almost made it to the end, guys, so you're doing good. And we're back. So our seafood chowder is finally done. It didn't take very long to do, to be honest with you. It was actually pretty quick. I got this plate up for me and my wife. And you look, it's nice, rich and creamy. And you also notice that there's, it's quite a bit in there. So, I mean, when you're eating this, you should be fine for your meal. It should taste good and everything else. And it should work really well. So, I mean, I'm Chef Paul, and I'm really glad that you could join me today. So, if you like what I do, please hit the like, subscribe, and share button. Join us on our Facebook group. Check us up on IRC. Send me a message if you're looking for a little bit of help on that. We'd be more than glad to show you. And just to prove that Amy is real. She is Dutch after all. And here's Amy. She's at work right now. And there's the rest of the boys. They're all busy sleeping. So next time, please eat healthy and have a great day.